Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, citizens of all ages, welcome back to another edition Star Citizen 3.2 Live. So, keeping in with the mission format videos that I've kind of been doing, or at least following suit with the previous Miles Eckhart video, I wanted to show everybody the, quote, new, quote, updated PI mission in 3.2. Now, admittedly, the PI mission has been changed since approximately 3.0. In talking with citizens and people who have partaken in the PI mission, it seems that a good portion of the mission is actually left out upon most people's initial completion. So generally, you open up your MobiGlas, you go to personal, and under, if I recall correctly, investigation, there is PI wanted. So the backstory is there's a woman looking to hire a private investigator to look into the accident that her husband is supposedly responsible for. She tasks you with going to the now destroyed Covalex Gundo station, which is the Covalex, station that we're at. Basically, what that entails is exploring Gundo Covalex, trying to pick up clues, and trying to decide or decipher, was he responsible and drunk and caused the accident, or were there other forces at work? After entering the damaged and disheveled station, you want to first run over to this terminal here. You're going to get one of your first pieces of evidence, and you want to try to not bump into shit like I'm doing here. One thing, be on your guard upon entering Covalex, especially if there's another ship outside. Luckily with this one, I didn't get griefed, but that's kind of the reason why you see me taking it a little bit slower than possibly normal. After which, as you saw, go up the elevator shaft to this, I guess you call it second floor, and we want to go over to, this is me just checking for enemies, the very first hab unit at the end of the hall, where we will find our second piece of evidence. Now, going down this hallway, you can be jumped, but if you look on the door to the left, right as I come out here, that yellow thing on the right, that usually, there we go, has data on it. Now, sometimes it won't. I don't think it's a huge issue if you don't have that data on there, but it's just further pieces to argue the point. I don't take the time to go through and read them here. After you acquire them, you can, and some of the stuff, kind of hard to decipher, but others are actually pieces of information you can read and understand. So from there we go to the elevator, and we're going to want to go down a floor. Now, upon entering the bottom portion of the floor, you're going to see a couple of more terminals that you can activate and get information from. This one in particular is going to give you another text journal entry. If I'll stop phasing through the counters there. There's not one on this grouping of computers, but I think there's one on the one next to it, which I think I actually neglected to get. Again, not a huge issue if you don't get them, but better to get as many as possible. Yep, so it looks like I missed it. Going down this hallway here, there's going to be another one of those little yellow things that generally you can get info from. There we go, another journal entry. Some of these entries are nonsensical, and it's just kind of like a bunch of code. Some of them actually have story details and things that you can kind of put together. So we want to continue down the hall. same thing. There's going to be a couple of terminals that we can acquire more information from. Now, again, I don't believe it's necessary to grab every single one that is available, but it doesn't hurt to do so. Plus, again, you can then go back and read through some of the lore, some of the things that were going on, and kind of have a better understanding and better idea of what exactly was going on in or around the time. So we want to hit this elevator shaft, and from there we are actually going to want to go up. I think I was just looking down there to double check. Once we go up here, it's going to be like the server database area. There's going to be a bunch of server farms over here, or a server farm with a bunch of computer servers. There's going to be a couple of screens over here that we can ascertain some information from as well. Then, there we go, another journal entry. Turning around, I believe there's a yellow one on the servers that we can get as well, right over here. Bada bing. Oh, phasing through the computers. So we gotta go over these toppled servers, float on through the doorway, and now this is actually going to bring us somewhere familiar. We're now at the end of the hallway when we pass through the initial hab area. Words are hard. I've brained my damage. Now this is where the more important pieces of evidence come into play. So we want to go to the doors with those little yellow locks on them. One of them has the piece of information. And it's not this one, although again, this one has some of that incriminating evidence that we will need to finish the mission and get the, quote, good ending. Now, if you don't get these pieces of data, these pieces of evidence, you're going to result in the bad ending. Now, this is the Holy Grail. This PC right here is going to have the data, which will make them guilty. So we want to open up our MobiGlas once we have all the info, go to the PI mission, and then there's going to be a submit button. As long as I'm not phasing through stuff, I'll be able to show you where that is. So again, we'll open up the MobiGlas, go to the journal, go to accepted, the PI mission, and then bing, hit the submit button. Now, we're not completely done just yet. We're almost done, but not completely. So after we send the data to the grieving widow, I almost called her mistress, yowza. Once we send that data to the grieving widow, a slight time limit is in effect. Basically, she needs to get the info, pass it along to the proper authorities, and then you should be receiving a message semi-shortly thereafter. The good news is you don't have to hang around Covalex to get the update to the mission. So you can start to just backtrack and go out the way that you came. And I gotta say, the lighting in this game is so fucking good. Like, just look how pretty this is. I'll never forget the first time I played Star Citizen. The very first mission I did was this PI mission. Get away from my Gladius. The first mission I did was the PI mission. It sounded the most interesting to me when I first logged on, and I'll tell you, going from Olisar, quantum traveling to Covalex, exiting my ship, and then floating around gathering evidence, I mean, there was nothing like it. Experiencing that for the first time, and not knowing what I was doing, so I got the bad ending the first time that I did it. And it was only after I was there with someone else, I don't remember who the hell it was, but he just happened to say, you know, oh, did you get the shotgun? And I'm like, shotgun? What do you mean? And he tried to explain that there was a shotgun in that little hab pod where the evidence is, the incriminating one. And he was like, oh, it's too late, you can't get it now, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So basically, the next day, I logged on and just started kind of exploring. And at the time, you had to find a couple extra data pads I kind of like the way they have it now. It seems more organic and more true to form. And I'll never forget how excited I was when I found the data pads all by myself, didn't have anybody's help. I felt so smart, even though really, as long as you explore the entire area, you would have found it back then. Now, takes a little bit more. It's about the same, though, because you had to find the data pads that were in those 2 rooms again. I think it was only in the second one that we entered, not the first one, though, if I recall. And, man, those fucking explosions are gorgeous. But finding that and getting the correct ending, I mean, it just completely blew me away. And I absolutely love it. So again, as you see, you know, I'm getting into a fight, some time's going by. The lady should be getting a hold of me relatively soon. And I think I'm going to end the video pretty soon, just because this is the brunt of the mission. I'm basically just kind of wasting time and just kind of filibustering. So that's really about it. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video, this kind of mission tutorial type video, please leave a like, as that lets me know you enjoyed this type of content. I hate using that word content. It's feeling dirty. But yeah, so I'm gonna leave the video here. Thank you very much for watching. All you beautiful bastards out there, you have yourselves a wonderful day, morning, evening, whenever, wherever you just so happen to be. This has been Will, Private Eye, Gumshoe, person, mission issue solver extraordinaire, signing off. Love, peace, chicken grease.
What?
Huh. Well, that didn't exactly go to plan now, did it?